Hi everybody and welcome to week 5 of the Beads Metal Fibre collab with Poetspice. As usual, links to the videos made by the other ladies taking part will be in the description box. Now this week I tried to use beads, metal and fibre in my creation. So the first thing I did was I made some crochet flowers. Now I made them with this random yarn, which is a sock yarn, which means it's kind of 4-ply and it contains a lot of wool. It's called Head Over Heels by Stylecraft, and the actual brand name or the actual name of this particular colourway is Matterhorn. Now I found working with the wool a bit of a revelation because I have rarely crocheted with wool. It's normally cotton, but I found that the wool was very forgiving, especially when you're making flowers, because if I make a flower in cotton and literally one stitch is bigger or more drawn out than the rest, you can see it, but the wool seems to just kind of snap itself back into position. So to use beads, I've added beads for the centre, and I've added little metal buttons and these bits of metal jewellery, broken up metal jewellery. You've probably come across these bracelets in the pound stores, Poundland and such like, and they're just held together by elastic. So I cut the elastic and sewed the centres onto the flowers, and I also had a few little lace flowers that I added to some of the centres like this. As you can see, the yarn is variegated, so no two flowers are the same. And I know people put labels like shabby chic and vintage on stuff like that, like this, but I just said to myself, well, no, it's not shabby chic and it's not vintage because they're only made today, so how could they be vintage? So I've decided to call this style crazy chic, and it's my own style of interpreting all these things that are in the go nowadays. So shabby chic, hashtag shabby, not hashtag shabby chic, I'm getting mixed up, hashtag crazy chic. So I had a look at the flowers and I said, what am I going to use them for? As you can see, I have 5-petal ones, 6-petal ones and 7-petal ones. They are crocheted, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of videos on YouTube that will show you how to crochet flowers like this. But if anybody really wants to know how to do these exact flowers, just leave me a comment and I'll do a tutorial next week or the week after. So I decided I would use them for something and I would make a wreath. Now this is kind of an ongoing project, so I'll be back next week to show you it when it's finished. Sorry for waving my fingers around like that. So I decided I would make a wreath with it. Now I have these really rusty old wire wreaths that I got from Rita, my friend Rita the florist. You probably have heard me talking about Rita the florist before, but I raid her shop regularly and get bits and pieces that she isn't using anymore. Now they're quite rusty, and I think you can get newer versions of them in craft shops and any place where they sell those polystyrene wreaths sometimes has the wire wreaths as well. Now of course you can use the polystyrene wreaths if you want to, if you don't like dealing with wire, but this is the wire part of the beads metal wire thing. It's the metal part. Don't ask, I'm getting tongue tied again. But I decided I would cover the wire frame with fabric. Now first of all I put on a layer of this wadding stuff. I just cut the wadding into strips and wrapped it round. Then I tore up fabric into strips, and there again you can see I didn't bother sewing it or anything, just tore it very roughly into strips and wrapped it over the wadding on the frame. You can see the frayed edges here and that, and I'm leaving it like that because that's part of the charm. As I said, it's crazy chic, and I'm kind of inspired by this with the sort of crazy patchwork and crazy quilting that I do. But that's your wire frame wrapped. Now if you can't get a wire frame, you can use cardboard instead. Now what I've done here is I can see if I can show you this. It's a big it's just cardboard. I cut out a circle out of the centre of the piece of card, and then I put the plate, using the plate as to draw around a small plate, then got a bigger plate and drew around it and cut the whole thing out. Now I cut out 2 of them and glued them together, and they're held together with strips of paper, which makes this very solid and very heavy. So if you have a lot of cardboard hanging around that you want to use up, this is another good idea. And if you don't want to use wire, if you find wire too hard on your hands, just the card and paper wire wreath will do fine. So next week I'm planning to come back when I have the wreath finished. I've also made a few leaves because, as you can see, with this yarn there's a lot of green in it, and there's sort of green stretches of, you know, 2 or 3 yards of green yarn. So I will be making leaves, and then I'll finish off the wreath. I'll put the flowers and, you know, I'll try and get them onto it nicely and decorate it up. And you'll be able to see the finished product in the grand finale and the roundup next week. So that's all for today, folks. Have a lovely weekend. Don't forget to check out the videos of the other ladies taking part. There's 7 other ladies, links in the description box as usual. And that's all. That's the start of my crazy chic, or my crazy wreath. Not shabby chic, crazy chic wreath. So thanks for watching and have a nice weekend. Bye.